Hey, me and the dog outside walking right now. It's beautiful out today. It hasn't been this nice in a long time. What's this attack therapy that I talk about? It almost seems like it's somewhat fulfilling whenever, have you ever posted something online? And like the other day I showed you the Fairlife milk that I drink. And, there's kind of like mislabeling in everything. Whenever you see something like Fairlife milk posted on the bottom, it says lactose free. What they do is they add an enzyme or something, they add lactase or something to it to make it seem like it's lactose free, so you don't have to digest it the same way as you would something that doesn't have lactase. I noticed that there was an instant push from the carnivore community and the ketogenic community, and all of a sudden the purists started coming out of the woodwork. It almost seems like it's therapy for them to be able to critique somebody and fix them. And again, I go back to referencing me. I used to do that. I used to be the very person that used to do those kinds of things, so I know what it's like. I know what it feels like. It's almost like this push of, I know more than you. I was that person, so I'm not going to be told any different when it comes to it, because I lived that embodiment up until about 3 months ago, when life struggles in general started humbling me and making me realize that this attack therapy that I was after is not necessarily what I should have been after. And I would constantly correct people online all the time about, hey, that product you're using is not necessarily clean, and these things aren't necessarily clean, and there are better options. And even though a lot of times it was genuine and sincere, it was still this form of attack therapy. There's always still this fulfillment afterwards of, I told them so, I know more, I'm smarter. And I realized that I was getting nowhere by doing that. My subscriber base was actually stopping and slowing down until I got to a point where I realized you just need to live and let live. Those people naturally come around. How are you? Those people naturally come around and they end up fixing what their issues are very naturally. Their body does that for them. The only thing that I have an issue with now is the artificial sweeteners. And those of you that have been following me for a few years know that I have made some exception to the situation, and I've definitely corrected some things. Like I don't mind erythritol now. I don't mind monk fruit and stuff now. I don't mind stevia and stuff. So there's a general switch and change when it comes down to information base.
Can I pet him?
That's fine. You can take what you want with the information that's given to you, but there are people out there that just think they have to correct everybody. So whenever I posted my lactose or the Fairlife milk the other day on the carnivore community, what ended up happening is I had this push from people on the carnivore groups are ruthless. They really are. They don't really care what you have to say. If you're dogmatic in your approach just like they are, you fit in very well. But there's a lot of them that speak up, because the ones that are very neutral, the ones that don't have a dogmatic way about them, they don't speak up. They're not going to get in the confrontation and stuff. They're going to let the idiots look like idiots, and they're just going to stay to themselves. It would be nice every once in a while to see one of these, pretty neutral carnivores step forward and say, hey, you know what? That's enough. We've seen enough. You don't need to add this dogma to the community and make the carnivore community look bad. You don't need to add the attacking people and the criteria that you add because you can, just because. If this person's getting by doing what they're doing and they're healthy doing it, leave them alone. Why are so many people quiet? They see something but they don't say anything. I posted this milk on the channel, and just like the typical carnivore men come forward in their dogmatic fashion, and the ones that typically have tattoos and muscles all over the place, they think they need to show their ass and make it seem like they know more than everybody else. Well, that's not raw milk. That's not good enough. You shouldn't be drinking that. That's highly processed. No shit, dumb shit. I know that. I know it's highly processed. But again, I explained that it is the best that I had in the options that I had, so I used it. And it was the lowest in sugar count out of all the milks that were available at the store, and the healthiest that I've seen so far. But they take it upon themselves to correct you and tell you that you should be shipping milk from Australia somewhere where it's got the purest quality beef that you could possibly find, and that you need to pay this $25 shipping. Some lady even popped up and said, you know, you can get it shipped right to your house from all over the place if your state is illegal. Well, yeah, so provide me with this website. And she provided the website. I simply went to the website and I clicked on what would a half gallon or a gallon of milk be. And you know what? It was $22.50 to even ship it to my house. How in the world do you justify $22.50 for a half gallon of milk? And then you can't even ship it to your house because it doesn't even match the threshold of the company of $50 spent minimum. So when you get to a point of trying to give people advice online and critiquing people online and telling them what they're doing right and wrong, make some sense while you're doing it, for one. And number two, there's nothing wrong with making choices that fit in your life that are healthy. You don't have to get the approval from anybody else. I've learned now everybody's got something to say about what you do. Be yourself, do what you do. Don't worry about these other idiots out here that like to correct everybody, because they don't have the answers. The answers that they get is not from their studies, it's not from their research, it's information and answers that they've got from other people that have put those words in play in their mind, and they didn't know what they know. If it wasn't for somebody else, they wouldn't have got where they are. That's just the fact of the matter. Same with me. If it wasn't for my parents starting the Atkins diet back when I was 17 years old, and I'm 33 now, I wouldn't have had the knowledge base that I have now. People talk to me and they're like, man, it sounds like you've been doing this for a long time. I have. It wasn't until, 4 or 5 years ago that I really had the weight problem. I've been low carb and Atkins my entire life. Keto, whatever you want to call it, carnivore. I never had these problems until you get older, and then hormones change and accidents happen in your life and things come along. So automatically they think because I'm posting something that's processed and it's an option that I don't know what I'm talking about. Automatically, you don't know what you're talking about, and you need to be corrected, because that's just how we are in the keto and carnivore community. Live and let live. If people find something that worked for them and they want to share it with everybody else, let them share it, especially if it's not causing any damage to anybody. Some ultra filtered processed milk that has 6 grams of carbs per serving is a hell of a lot better than other options that I see people drinking, and all the artificial sweeteners and stuff that they're pumping into their body. Relax a little bit, guys. I don't even feel like I want to share stuff on social media anymore, because there's so many people that are just ready to jump to the punch, and then I have to spend days of defending myself before they actually realize that they didn't have a reason to say anything to begin with. It's just because they wanted to say something. It's that feeling of correcting somebody and being the ultimate person in the conversation. Leave it alone. If you don't want to do it, move on. This attack therapy has got to stop, and that's what I see in the vegan, carnivore, and keto community. And it's not good, and we need to quit doing it. It's just something that has to go away. That's my message.